This video is brought to you in part by Inked Playmats at inkedplaymats.com, your place for custom-made playmats. Design your own or shop from other featured designers. Use promo code KLOTZ to save 10% on your order. Inked Playmats, your game, your style. Hello everybody, this is Kevin from KlotzProductions and welcome to another Magic the Gathering match. This week we have Nick playing Mage Blade and he's going up against Corey who's playing Patrick Chapin's Grixis deck from Worlds. Both players start the game off with a mulligan down to 6 cards and then Corey led it off with a tapped Drowned Catacomb. Then Nick put an island into play and used it to cast a Ponder. He reordered the 3 cards on the top and then drew one. Corey laid down a mountain on his next turn, and then Nick played land go as well. Then at the end of Nick's turn, Corey used the Desperate Ravings to draw 2 cards and then discarded at random a Darkslick Shores. Corey passed his next turn after putting a Sulfur Falls into play, at the end of which Nick used to think twice to draw a card. Nick then missed his next land drop, and Corey played a Forbidden Alchemy. Then Corey played land go again for his turn. Nick then missed another land drop and discarded a Day of Judgment, and at the end of the turn, Corey used another Forbidden Alchemy. Corey passed his next turn after putting a Blackcleave Cliffs into play tapped, at which point Nick used another Think Twice to draw another card. Then on Nick's turn, he finally got another land, which was a Seachrome Coast. Corey then attempted to resolve an Olivia Voldaren, however Nick stopped it with a Mana Leak. Nick then laid down a Glacial Fortress and passed his turn. Then at the end of Corey's next turn, Nick flashed back his Think Twice. He then laid down a Plains and passed his turn, at which point Corey used Snapcaster Mage to flash back his Forbidden Alchemy. He attacked for 2 with his mage, dropping Nick down to 18, and at the end of the turn, Nick flashed back another Think Twice. At the end of Nick's turn, Corey attempted to flash back another Forbidden Alchemy, however Nick stopped it with a Mana Leak. Corey sent his Snapcaster to the red zone again, dropping Nick down to 16, then at the end of the turn, Nick flashed in a Snapcaster Mage of his own. Nick then resolved a Sword of Feast and Famine. He then attacked with his Snapcaster Mage, however Corey destroyed it with a Galvanic Blast. Corey attacked again with his mage, dropping Nick down to 14 life. Then post-combat, he cast a Wurmcoil Engine. Nick tried to keep it from resolving with a Dissipate, however Corey used a Mana Leak to counter the Dissipate and the Wurmcoil resolved. Nick then tapped out on his turn to resolve a Consecrated Sphinx. Then when Corey drew his next card, Nick drew 2. Corey then sent his Wurmcoil Engine to the red zone, which Nick decided to take, dropping him down to 8 life and taking Corey up to 26. Then post-combat, Corey resolved an Inferno Titan and did 3 more damage to Nick, taking him down to 5. For Nick's next turn, he started off by equipping his sword to his Consecrated Sphinx and attacking for 6, taking Corey back down to 20 life and forcing him to discard the last card in his hand, which was a Desperate Ravings. Nick then untapped his lands and wiped the board with a Day of Judgment. When Corey's Wurmcoil Engine died, it brought in a 3/3 Death Touch along with a 3/3 Lifelinker. Then Nick resolved a Snapcaster Mage and equipped his sword to it. At the end of Nick's turn, Corey flashed back his Desperate Ravings to draw 2 cards and randomly discarded a Liliana of the Veil. Corey then started his next turn by flashing back a Forbidden Alchemy from his graveyard. He then attacked with his 2 tokens. Nick decided to trade his mage with the Death Touch token and then went down to 2 life from the Lifelinker and bringing Corey up to 23. Then for Nick's next turn, he started off by casting a Batterskull. It did resolve, however Corey forced him to pay 3 more mana for it with a Mana Leak, leaving Nick with only 1 untapped land. For Corey's next turn, he started off by using a Snapcaster Mage to flash back his Forbidden Alchemy. He then cast a Desperate Ravings to draw 2 more cards and randomly discarded a Precursor Golem, leaving a Dismember in his hand, which he used to get rid of Nick's Germ token. This cleared the way for Corey's Worm token, which he used to finish off Nick, giving him the win and taking them to Game 2. So that's it for this game. I hope you all enjoyed it. Be sure to check out the annotations at the end of this video to find the full version of this gameplay along with previous highlights games. And as always, if you like this or any other video, give it a thumbs up and add it to your favorites, and then subscribe and come back for more videos.